Welcome back to a new post today. Today, let's discuss the most important economic issue for the day, and that's about a mini trade deal. Now, India is about to sign a mini trade deal with its global strategic partner, that's the United States of America. And why is this so before a full-fledged bilateral trade agreement? So, India has been pushing for a mini trade deal before the end of July 8th. Why is this deadline? This is because to avoid reciprocal tariffs as set by the President of United States of America, Donald Trump. Now, talks have led by the Commerce Minister of India, Piyush Goyal, which aims to secure market access for India and duty concessions apart from the regular tariffs which are being imposed now on other countries ahead of an interim bilateral trade agreement. The key sectors being focused are textiles, EVs, dairy and agriculture. The mini trade deal before the interim bilateral trade agreement or a full-fledged trade agreement is aimed to help India to avoid full force of the reciprocal tariffs that will come into effect by July 8th. For that, the mini trade deal has to be agreed by July 8th. While a 26% interim tariff has been imposed on India, its suspension is only for 90 days, means that the Indian exports in the US are paying only 10% extra duties right now rather than the regular 16% that we used to pay. The mini trade deal will be followed by an interim deal will make full-fledged trade agreement between India and USA, which is a three-step process. Now, the bilateral trade agreement is the most important trade agreement that India is aiming to negotiate with USA, its largest trading partner and also the market. Earlier this month, the FTA was signed with UK, which was called historic and is going to achieve the goal of 2030, that is 100 billion trade between India and UK by 2030. Similar deals with European Union, Oman, Australia and many others are in the final stages. Now, to boost its export through the bilateral trade agreement, India is seeking duty concessions for labor-intensive sectors like textiles, gems and jewelry, leather products, garments, plastics, chemical, shrimp, oil seeds, chemicals, grapes and bananas in the proposed pact with America, that's the mini trade deal. On the other hand, the US wants duty concessions from India in sectors like industrial goods, automobiles, that electric vehicles, particularly wines, petrochemical products, dairy, agriculture items like apples and tree nuts. In the past, Trump has pointed out and has complained of the trade deficit between India and UK. That means we are exporting more from to US than importing from them, and this has been a sticking point or a cause of concern mainly with the United States, which is a major importer of many goods for many countries all around the world. In 2024, the US had a $45.7 billion trade deficit with India. The US is India's largest trading partner, while India is US's 10th largest trading partner. In the wake of the Trump initial tariff announcement, India had made several overtures, let me tell you, with US, but since presented a tougher stance on the heels of successful successful US-China trade deal last week. And US President meanwhile has claimed several times over the last week that India has offered literally no change in tariff. Now, one of the concerns with India is agriculture and dairy. It cannot displace its own farmers because of these trade agreements and therefore the delay. Let us just look into the points of the most important products that India imports from US as of February 2025. The 10 most important products are nuclear reactors, boilers, machineries, mineral fuel, bitumen substances, mineral wax, optics, photochemical substances, surgical instruments, electric machinery, sound equipment, TV equipment, pharmaceutical products, organic chemicals, plastics, miscellaneous chemical products, vehicles, and also iron and steel. So these are the top 10 products that India imports. Let's look at the top 10 products that India exports from our country to the US. They are electric machinery like sound equipment, nuclear reactor boilers, machinery parts, pharmaceutical products, vehicle, organic chemicals, articles of iron and steel, textile especially, apparel and accessories, optic, photo products, surgical instruments, rubber and articles thereof. Though these are the 10 most top goods that we export. Now, India trade relations have developed into a global strategic partnership based on shared democratic values and increasing convergence of interests in bilateral, regional and global issues. Recently, we also seen Government of India deciding to amend two nuclear energy acts with regard to being more open to the United States and India nuclear trade deal as well. So improvement in the trade relations as well. That's what India is being positive with regard to the mini trade agreement, and then afterwards a full-fledged bilateral trade agreement. So it's wait and watch for how US would reciprocate with regard to the mini trade and what are the benefits that India would achieve with this, and also the markets or the industries that might have a chance of getting displaced because of these trade agreements. So I hope these points were really helpful to you all. If you do, please do like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to comment at the end of the video. I shall meet you in another new post. Until then, it's very happy learning.